Houses don't have memories, but sometimes the most ordinary day hides the darkest secrets. Butch got dressed, but he didn't go to work that morning at his family's car dealership, Brigante Carl Buick, in Amityville, New York. Instead, he visited his friend Billy Davin, who worked at a nearby body shop. He ran some other errands, stopping in a few local stores and businesses, and made a phone call to his girlfriend, Sherry Klein, that afternoon. No one around him could have guessed that anything was amiss. Around 6:30 that evening, Butch walked into his usual hangout, Henry's Bar on Merrick Road, for a drink. But this time, he didn't sit down and ask for a drink. Instead, he appeared distraught and screamed, "You've got to help me. I think my mother and father are shot."
He's screaming, "Come on, help me. Somebody shot my mother and father."
And so begins the story of one of the most infamous murder cases in American history, the Amityville Murders. Welcome to Timeless Mysteries, where we discuss the unthinkable. Please like and subscribe to our channel. If you're already subscribed, you can become a member today. The patrons inside Henry's Bar were stunned. They quickly gathered around Butch, who was visibly shaken. Bobby Kelsky, a friend of Butch, and several men from the bar followed him back to his house at 112 Ocean Avenue. What they found was beyond anything they could have imagined. Inside the large Dutch colonial house, they discovered the bodies of the entire DeFeo family. Ronald Sr., Louise, and their 5 children, all dead in their beds. The police were called immediately, and what began as a concerned inquiry turned into a full-blown investigation of a massacre. From the beginning, Butch was suspected. His story of a possible mob hit was met with skepticism due to the lack of forced entry and the precise manner in which the murders were carried out. Butch's detached demeanor also raised red flags. He seemed almost too calm for someone who had just lost his entire family. The investigation took a sharp turn when detectives confronted Butch with physical evidence that contradicted his story. They discovered the murder weapon, a .35 caliber Marlin rifle, hidden in Butch's room. This directly tied him to the crime and debunked his initial claims of a mob hit. Detectives Napolitano and Gozaloff used a methodical approach to highlight the inconsistencies in Butch's account of the events. They applied psychological pressure by isolating Butch and continuously questioning him about the murders. As the pressure mounted, his story fell apart in the early morning hours of November 14. After prolonged questioning, he admitted that he had, in fact, been the one to kill his family as they slept peacefully the night before. As details of Butch's life emerged, it became clear that he had a notoriously volatile relationship with his father, Ronald Sr., who was known for his strict and overbearing personality. This father-son conflict was a significant source of tension in the household. Butch's life outside the home was equally troubled. Despite working at the family dealership, Butch was financially unstable and frequently stole money from his father to support his heroin and LSD habit. Friends described him as a ticking time bomb. Looking back, the pressure within the DeFeo household had clearly been festering to dangerous levels for years. When the case went to trial, Butch's defense team argued that he was legally insane at the time of the murders. They claimed that he heard voices commanding him to kill his family, suggesting a deep psychological disturbance. However, the prosecution countered with evidence of premeditation, pointing out that Butch had methodically moved from room to room, shooting each member of his family as they slept. The jury ultimately rejected the insanity plea. Butch was convicted of 6 counts of second-degree murder, rather than first-degree, largely because the jury believed that while he was mentally unstable, he had still understood the nature of his actions. He was sentenced to 6 concurrent life sentences. Butch DeFeo would spend the rest of his life in prison, never again experiencing freedom. Throughout his incarceration, Butch made several attempts to appeal his conviction and seek parole, but all were unsuccessful. His life in prison was marked by varying accounts of his mental state Sometimes he claimed to be haunted by what he had done, while at other times, he maintained a chilling indifference.
There was nothing but bad in that house. I was gonna burn it to the ground. That's the truth. I was gonna burn it to the ground.
Butch DeFeo served 45 years, 3 months, and 19 days in prison before he died on March 12, 2021, at the age of 69. He passed away at Albany Medical Center in New York.
The convicted killer, whose 1974 murder spree spawned the Amityville horror franchise, has died.
The exact cause of death has not been publicly disclosed by officials, though it's important to note that this occurred during the COVID-19 pandemic. Perhaps the blood spilled that night was enough to transform it into a far more powerful malevolent force, one that would soon scream, "Get out." To the Lutz family. After the Lutz family fled the Amityville house in January 1976, just 28 days after moving in, their terrifying experiences quickly attracted widespread attention. They reported encountering unexplained phenomena, including strange odors, cold spots, and disturbing sounds, which led them to seek the help of Ed and Lorraine Warren, renowned paranormal investigators at the time. The Warrens visited the house at 112 Ocean Avenue in February 1976, where Lorraine, who claimed to have clairvoyant abilities, immediately sensed a powerful and malevolent presence. She described this as the most intense experience she had ever encountered in any of their investigations. Lorraine held a seance in the living room of the house and reported feeling a dark, oppressive energy that she believed to be demonic. She also claimed to have seen visions of the DeFeo family's bodies as they were discovered, as well as a hooded figure that she interpreted as a demonic entity. One of the most famous pieces of evidence from their investigation is a photograph showing what appears to be a young boy with glowing eyes peering out from a doorway. This photograph, taken using infrared film, was believed by the Warrens and their team to depict the spirit of one of the DeFeo children. Ed Warren, a self-taught demonologist, concluded that the house was under the influence of a powerful demonic force. The Warrens attempted to cleanse the house spiritually, but they later stated that the malevolent presence was too strong to be fully removed. Their findings were met with both fascination and skepticism, while the photograph and the Lutz family's experiences convinced many that the house was haunted. Others believed the events were exaggerated or fabricated for publicity. The events were later chronicled in J. Anson's book, The Amityville Horror, published in 1977, which became a bestseller and inspired several film adaptations.
Why didn't you pull that trigger?
Popularizing the notion of the house being haunted by malevolent spirits. The Amityville house has since become one of the most famous haunted locations in the world. Despite numerous investigations over the years, opinions remain divided about whether the house is truly haunted. Whether one believes in the paranormal or not, the house in Amityville has become an integral part of both paranormal lore and popular culture. Its infamy has led to the house being given a new address.
Yeah, they changed the number. Look, because that's 120.
And even the iconic windows have been altered to distance it from its dark past. But does the entity remain?
If you gave me $1 billion, I wouldn't go in the house again. It messed up my life and my husband's life.
Thank you for joining us here on Timeless Mysteries. Please like this video and subscribe for more chilling discussions that make the impossible seem all too real. If you've already subscribed, please consider becoming a member today and supporting us as we grow. Until next time, stay safe, stay vigilant, and always question the truth. Remember, there is strength in kindness.